By age 35, the median American household has a net worth of about $39,000. That's not their salary, that's everything they own. Their savings, their retirement account, their car, the equity in their home, minus every debt they owe. The grand total, $39,000. And the wealthiest 35-year-olds in their same age group, their net worth is closer to $280,000, sometimes more. Same age, same economy, same general circumstances, but 7 times the wealth. I'm Avery, and this is Trek for Wealth, your trail map for building, growing, and protecting long-term wealth. Today, we're talking about the gap that opens up by age 35, the gap between people who are quietly building wealth and people who are quietly falling behind without even realizing it. And if that second group sounds like you right now, don't click away, because this video is actually for you. The wealth moves I'm going to walk through at the end are the same ones that take someone from the middle of the pack to the top quarter in about 10 years. They are not glamorous, they are not complicated, but they are real. And the math is on your side if you start them now. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the actual numbers because they tell a story that most people are not hearing clearly. According to the most recent Federal Reserve Survey of Consumer Finances, the median net worth for Americans under 35 is $39,000. The median for the 35 to 44 bracket jumps to about $135,000. That's a 4-fold increase in just 1 decade. And here's where it gets interesting. The average net worth for the 35 to 44 group is $549,000. That's 4 times higher than the median. When you see that kind of gap between the average and the median, that tells you something important. It tells you that within that age group, a relatively small number of people are pulling the average way up, while the majority sit much lower. In other words, between 25 and 45, something dramatic happens. People start to separate. The top quarter pulls ahead, the middle stays middle, and the bottom quarter actually starts going backward in real terms after you adjust for inflation. So the question is, what's actually happening during that decade? Because it's not income. People who earn more money don't automatically build more wealth. We have decades of research showing this. There are 6-figure earners with negative net worth, and there are middle-income earners with 7-figure portfolios. What separates them isn't what they make, it's what they do with what they make. Let me show you exactly where the gap comes from. There are 5 things, 5 specific decisions, that the people who pull ahead make consistently, and the people who fall behind don't. We're going to walk through each one, because if you can recognize which of these are happening to you, you can change the trajectory of your next 10 years starting today. Gap number 1, lifestyle inflation. This is the big one, the #1 wealth killer between 25 and 35. Lifestyle inflation is what happens when your income goes up. A raise, a promotion, a better job, and your spending goes up right alongside it. The new income gets absorbed. You can't even tell you're making more money because your bills, your subscriptions, your eating out, your apartment, your car, all of it scaled up to match. And here's the math that should stop you cold. A person earning $60,000 a year who manages to live on $45,000 is saving $15,000 a year. A person earning $100,000 a year who spends $95,000 is saving $5,000. The lower earner is building wealth 3 times faster than the higher earner. That is the entire game right there. Wealth is the gap between what you earn and what you spend. It's not your income, it's the spread. And if the spread doesn't grow when your income grows, you will never accumulate anything, no matter how big the paychecks get. Gap number 2, the missed employer match. If your job offers a 401k match and you're not contributing enough to capture the full match, you are walking away from free money every single year. And most companies match somewhere between 3 and 6% of your salary. That means if you earn $70,000 a year and your company matches up to 5%, Contributing 5% of your paycheck gets you an additional $3,500 per year from your employer, just for showing up and signing one form. About a quarter of eligible workers in America don't capture their full employer match every year, year after year. Compound that $3,500 annually for 30 years at the historical stock market return, you're walking away from approximately $400,000 over a career. For a paperwork problem. Gap number 3, the delayed start on investing. This one is the cruelest of all because it has nothing to do with how much you make and everything to do with when you start. Watch the math on this. $1 million by age 65. Now look at someone who waits until age 35 to start. 1 million by 65. But they only have 30 years instead of 40. To hit the same number, they have to invest $700 a month instead of $300. More than double the monthly contribution, for less than half the time. That 10-year delay between 25 and 35 isn't just expensive, it's exponentially expensive. Because compound growth works on time more than it works on money. Every year you wait costs you more than the previous year. And by 35, most people who haven't started investing are looking at a mountain that gets harder to climb every single day they wait longer. Gap number 4, high-interest debt that never gets paid off. This is the silent wealth killer. Credit card debt, personal loans, car loans that get refinanced and rolled forward, buy now, pay later balances that accumulate across multiple apps. The current average credit card APR is hovering above 20%. At 20% interest, your debt is growing faster than almost any investment can grow. You cannot outinvest 20% interest. And here's the part most people don't realize. Even if you're making the minimum payments, even if you're current on everything, debt at 20% interest is actively destroying your wealth-building capacity every single month. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has shown that paying down a 20% APR balance is mathematically equivalent to earning a guaranteed 20% return, which is something no legitimate investment can offer. If you have high-interest debt, paying it down is the highest return wealth move available to you. Period. Above index funds, above real estate, above your 401k beyond the match. Because the alternative is letting 20% interest eat your raise every year for the rest of your life. Gap number 5, not understanding how the system actually works. And I don't mean this in a finger-wagging way. I mean this very literally. Most people fall behind not because they're irresponsible, but because nobody ever explained the basic mechanics to them. Things like how a Roth IRA grows tax-free for 40 years, how an HSA is the most tax-advantaged account in America, how tax loss harvesting can save you thousands, how a single % difference in expense ratios can cost you $100,000 over a career. None of this is taught in school. Most of us didn't have parents who could explain it because most of them never learned it either. And the financial industry has zero incentive to make it simple, because complexity is how they extract fees. The wealthy aren't smarter. They just have access to the operating manual. Okay, so those are the 5 gaps. And I know that's a lot to absorb. But here's the good news. And this is genuinely good news. Every single one of these gaps can be closed. It doesn't matter where you are right now. The compounding math actually works for you the moment you start. So let's talk about the 4 wealth moves that catch you up. Wealth move 1. Capture your full employer match this month. If you're not contributing enough to get the full match, log into your 401k portal this week and bump up your contribution percentage until you are. You don't need to max out the account. You don't need to commit to anything ambitious. You just need to grab the free money your employer is already offering you. If you earn $70,000 and your match is 5%, that's $3,500 a year, captured, with one form. Wealth move 2. Open a Roth IRA and start with $100 a month. A Roth IRA is the single most powerful wealth-building tool most Americans have access to. You contribute after-tax money. It grows tax-free for the rest of your life. And when you take it out in retirement, you pay zero taxes on it. The 2026 contribution limit is $7,500 per year, but you do not have to max it out. Start with $100 a month. Buy a low-cost total stock market index fund inside the account. Set it on autopilot. Do not look at it. That is wealth move number 2, and it will change the trajectory of your retirement. Wealth move 3. Kill the highest interest debt first. List every debt you have. Write down the interest rate next to each one. Identify whichever has the highest rate. Make minimum payments on everything else and throw every extra dollar at the highest rate debt until it's gone. Then move to the next highest. This is called the avalanche method, and it is mathematically the fastest way to become debt-free and start building wealth. The psychological snowball method, paying smallest balance first, works for some people. But if you can stomach the math, the avalanche method saves you the most money. Wealth move 4. Lock in your savings rate before you lock in your lifestyle. This is the one that protects everything else. The single most reliable predictor of long-term wealth isn't your income. It's your savings rate as a percentage of what you earn. So pick a number, 20%, 15%, even 10% to start, and commit to that number, not to a dollar amount, so that when your income goes up, your savings rate goes up too. If you're saving 15% at $60,000 and you get a promotion to $70,000, you start saving 15% of $70,000. The raise doesn't get absorbed into lifestyle inflation. It goes to wealth. And here's the thing about all 4 of these moves. They take maybe 2 hours total to set up. That's it. Log into your 401k portal. Open a Roth IRA. Fidelity, Schwab, and Vanguard all have free options. List your debts. Pick your savings percentage. That's the whole list. 2 hours of work. Decades of difference. Look, I want to acknowledge something important here. There is a real economic backdrop to a lot of why people are falling behind right now. Wages have not kept up with housing costs in most major metros. Healthcare is expensive. Childcare is brutal. Student loan debt is heavier than any prior generation has carried. These are real headwinds, and I'm not going to pretend they aren't. But here's what I've come to believe after looking at this data carefully. The economic environment makes wealth building harder. It does not make it impossible. And the gap between people who navigate this environment well and people who don't comes down to a small number of decisions made consistently over time. One last thing I want to mention. If you're listening to this and you're past 35 and feeling like the window has closed, it has not. The catch-up provisions in the tax code actually accelerate after age 50. Starting at 50, you can contribute an extra $7,500 to your 401k each year and an additional $1,000 to your IRA. Between ages 60 and 63, that catch-up jumps to over $11,000 annually. The system is designed to let people who started late accelerate hard. You are never out of options. You are only out of options if you stop trying. So wherever you are right now, 25 or 35 or 45 or 55, the playbook is the same. Capture the match, open the Roth, kill the debt, lock the savings rate, repeat. Preparing without predicting, always. If this kind of practical, math-grounded financial education is what you've been looking for, subscribe to Trek for Wealth. We go deep. We go honest. We give you the frameworks that actually move the needle. Your trail map for building, growing, and protecting long-term wealth. Trek for Wealth. Keep trekking.